So I was driving from the park to somewhere else on the north side, and some cartel jackass decided to pass me like I was parked in front of me and start fucking with me. And he was disturbed when I caught back up to him after about a mile. He was in a Dodge Challenger. As it turns out, Ray Ray's got bigger balls and straighter pipes than Mr. Dodge Challenger. I didn't get any of that on video. No reason to, really, but Jose had a little skull on the back of his car and wanted to fucking, I don't know, fuck, apparently. These are the people that are here for the fair. I deal with this every fucking year. That person wanted to shine it on, okay? And like, we could get into why that was, but it had nothing to do with me, really. It had to do with a bitch in front of me that was going slow. And him assuming that because I'm driving some shitty looking minivan that I drive like a fuckan or whatever. Really, like, it kind of annoys the piss out of me. Well, Sunday, that's not open. I'm trying to think of where we could go. I kind of went a lot further north than I intended to because I basically stayed on Cartel Dude's bumper until he went back to Cartel Land. I drove him straight to a watering hole it's for cartel people. This is my opinion. This is back to, like, you know, why do I think he's cartel? Well, his car had a radio, and it wasn't, you know, just like a CB job or whatever. Like, his car had a radio that, honestly, it looks like a federal antenna. So either he's a Fed, which I very much doubt, or he's listening to them. He's here to sell drugs at the fair. This is the shit where, like, tell us the police, you should do your fucking jobs. No one has a fucking, you know, antenna and radio system capable of transmitting and receiving in that fucking, was it 9,000 or 900 megahertz? It's the ultra high frequency that the cops use now. That was the antenna that he had on his fucking car. Like, okay, maybe I don't know enough about radios. That's entirely possible, Posh Nasi, if you watch this. But, like, at the same time, I don't know. He buzzed me doing about 70 on a street that's about 35. This is where, like, I might drive like a lunatic, but I wouldn't have done that there at that time of day with those people there and me there. And I think someone should run these fucking gutless curs down and give them a fucking ticket. Our cops are cowards. We should completely defund the police and write some new laws. Like, the laws in this country used to be that there was like a sheriff and a couple of deputies, and you guys handled it amongst yourselves. All they did was take you to court when that shit got out of hand. That's the way American law was written. That's the way it's going to be again. I guarantee you. My grandma used to teach dance classes there and at a YMCA down the street there. YWCA, actually. So this church, when I was, well, how old was I? I was like 4 or 5 years old. This whole church got taken out by a tornado that was like an F5, F4 or something. It was a bad one. It took out this whole area. Let me show you where I was. This is what I mean when I say that, the Baraka rides with me or whatever, like protected by divine providence. So at that point, when that tornado happened, I was living in that house right there, that duplex on the right side of it. The landlord of that place, my grandfather called Chester the child molester. And he called him that because he was creepy. My favorite story about Chester the child molester was he came to fix a door that broke on the cabinet for the sink. And he fixed it by putting a giant brass panel all over the inside of it. Like, it was like crazy. So it was like a 1/4 inch thick brass, held on with screws every like inch. It was insane. And when my grandmother saw this, she's like, "What'd you do?" She's like, "Nice, isn't it? It adds ambiance." I will never forget that to the day I die. Looking for some place to turn around in this shit. Apparently that don't exist anymore. Anyway, when that tornado happened, that house is all of like 400 or 500 yards from where that church literally got picked up off the ground and dropped back down. It was insane. The noise was insane. Like, goddamn. By the way, Chester, the child molester, never molested anyone to my knowledge. My grandfather is just an asshole. So, shitty apartments. These are the kind of neighborhoods I grew up in. The place where the cartel dude started shining me on was actually by my old elementary school. That will eventually be a field trip. But I think for now, this neighborhood is actually an interesting one. This is kind of some backwoodsy, undeveloped parts of Tulsa that are still kind of hidden gems, in my opinion. This is what all of Tulsa used to look like. Back when, like, it was, real decent, loving American people that lived here and had guns. This is where Ray would go rollerblading when she was a little girl. Or a little boy, depending on how you want to look at it. I'd start back there at my house and go up this route. And I'd go this way. And then I would turn around at the street and go back. I was, again, like 5, 6 years old, 4 years old, somewhere in that range. And across the street there is where we're going. I can fucking see good enough to get there. Okay. This place, we're not going to stay here very long. I'll go show you why. You used to be able to just park here. That's a fucking screen grab. In other words, I don't give a flying fuck about your laws. You stop giving a flying fuck about the Constitution. How about that? So when I was a kid, oh shit, look at the plane. Fucking taking off of Tulsa International Airport. Anyway, let's see. That's a Southwest flight. Anywho, selling these rocks here. Story time. Maybe I should start a new video. Let's start a new video.